The first race of the weekend is about to get underway for the Women's Circuit Racing Championship here at Donington Park. Welcome to race 1 of 2. Let's take a look at how they line up on the grid then. Beatrix Naylor, Maria Herrera and Sarah Sanchez on the front row. Then into Lucy Basoli starts on row 2 for Chloe Jones, the Brit, and Jessica Howden. And then we get in as well. Further back, we get Ruzi alongside Taylor Ralph as well. Lewis starts in 9th. Rivera starts 10th. Madrigal 11th. Lucy Mitchell in 12th. Onagaro in 13th. Del Zotto 14th. Our own Mallory Dobbs in 15th. Jamie Hanks Elliott as well in 16th. With Anna Koturova in 17th. Emily Bondi 18th. And Morrison, Lou, and Barbara, Simons, Lloyd, and Fuller and Ponziano starts at the back. We're away on the formation lap then here in a sunny Donington Park.
It is slowly rising to what we had yesterday.
Yeah, it's a good field as well this weekend. 25 riders taking the start for race 1. We've got one rider that wasn't able to qualify, Carol Bezzi, but she'll have an opportunity tomorrow morning to try and set a time that can get her onto the race 2 grid. Roberta Ponziani at the back of the grid, that's the interesting one, the number 96. Let's see how quickly she can make progress. She wasn't weighed after yesterday's Super Pole session. That's why she's been penalised and put to the back of the grid. She will still be able to set one of the 9 fastest laps, and that'll put her in contention for tomorrow's race with a leading grid position. But for Ponziani, there's a big question for how quickly she can make her progress. She'll get herself up into the points-paying positions on the first lap, you'd imagine. But from that point onwards, what's the gap's going to be?
She is a rider who in the past has taken advantage of the higher pace of some of the riders in front of her. She's been able to tag onto the back of that leading group a lot of the time, remain in podium contention due to that. The word on Carol Bezzi, who you just mentioned, didn't qualify for this race. She was here replacing Isis Carreño, who unfortunately suffered an injury in the Spanish R7 Championship a few weeks ago. She was out with an injured ankle and missing this weekend, so unfortunate for the Chilean with the number 99. Hopefully we can see her back in a couple of weeks' time at Ballerton Park Circuit. So the riders making their way around the foggy S's into that final circuit for this warm-up lap.
I spoke to a few of the riders about the challenges of Donington Park. We can see them down into turn 11 here. The biggest challenge they have is that's one of the key overtaking opportunities. But with the R7, when you get on the brakes, you move to the bottom of the stroke very quickly on the fork, which then means that it's very difficult to outbrake another rider. But down into turn 11, if someone leaves the door open, you have to try and attack into there. So Donington's always an interesting track for one make series like this with the R7, and you'd certainly expect to see overtaking moves turn 4, maybe the likes of some of the midfield sections of the track down into the S's, but turn 4 and turn 11 are the key places.
Maria Herrera is on 90 points. She's 13 clear of the rest of the field as we get ready. Red flag at the front. The first race then of the weekend is about to get underway. Beatrix Naylor gets her first ever pole position. She'll head down towards Redgate. Maria Herrera and Sarah Sanchez is alongside. Revs are up then, we're ready for a start. The green flag is at the back. Race 1 of the WorldWCR Championship here at Donington Park for the UK round of the championship is almost underway. Eyes to the lights, they'll go red. A pause of up to 3 seconds, and when it's lights out, we are racing at Donington Park. It's a poor getaway from Sarah Sanchez. Great getaway from Maria Herrera. Down towards turn 1. She's got ahead of Beatrix Naylor as we enter Redgate for the first time. Into the lead of the race is Maria Herrera. Into second, Beatrix Naylor. Lucy Busfall is up into 3rd position. Chloe Jones up to 4th, and they've all got through Redgate. Down through now Hollywood Curve, and down now through the Craners and in towards the old hairpin. And Beatrix Naylor's coming on the inside line, and she's taken now the lead of the race away from Maria Herrera. Down at Old Hairpin, through now up towards McLean's we go. Beatrix Naylor leads. Herrera, Busaful, Jones, Sanchez, Lewis. Ralph's just down into 7th position at the moment. Mallory stayed in 15th. Jamie Hanks drops from 16th to 19th. Bad getaway from her as they all head down into the braking zone for the hairpin once more. Well, an interesting start to the race. Didn't expect it to be that type of action between the two, but I suppose it's good enough as they come into the braking zone, into the Fogarty S's for the first time. Wonderful opportunity for a viewing spot at the circuit if you're at Donington Park. Down to the Melbourne hip, and we go. And diving on the inside line now, Maria Herrera trying to have a go on the inside line. And again, Beatrix Naylor going wide. And Chloe Jones, the Brit, she's going up into second position. She's got a great traction. Can she hold the outside line? Down into the hairpin in the last corner as well. Hard on the brakes and coming towards Goddard's. Can't do anything there. A little bit further back as we enter now the start straight. 11 laps to go. Maria Herrera leads. Beatrix Naylor second. Chloe Jones is in third position for Great Britain as we get in towards Redgate for the second time. Hold it down on the inside line through the right-hander and drop down the hill. It's a wonderful... Tell you what, the television pictures do not do it justice how much elevation change you get at this circuit. Mallory's moved up into 14th. Jamie's up into 18th position as well. As round the outside, that's Boozable trying to have a go. Sanchez on the inside line. So Sanchez trying to get back from a poor qualifying. She moves back up ahead of Boozable up into 4th position. So Maria Herrera leading, and now the traction starting to come through as well. Madrigal's up into 9th position actually. Stunning start from her, from 11th on the grid, up 2 places. Let's have a look. Mallory's up 1. Jamie down 2. Who's our biggest winner on the start? Yeah, it's going to be Avalon Lewis as well. She's up into 6th position. Taylor Ralph as well in 7th, just as the Australians that come through the Fogarty S's down towards the Melbourne hairpin once more. And Maria Herrera with the lead of the race. And now the field's starting to separate as Chloe Jones thinks about a lunge on the inside of Beatrix Naylor. Not going to go for it there, I'm afraid. Just backs out. Thinks better of it as we head into Goddard's now once more. So Maria Herrera leads this race so far. It's lap 2 of 12. Now we'll start then across the line and start the third. And Madrigal again improving out there as well. And still down in 25th position as well. Sonia Lloyd losing out a couple of places. Still an impressive run as they come through. Down the hill once more. Maria Herrera just holding the inside line. 1:39.281 from her on the lap time. She's got the lead of the races. Now they come through the old hairpin. Up the hill we go once more. Is Beatrix Naylor going to have a go here on Maria Herrera? Herrera was the woman to beat here last year at Donington in what was a mixed event as well. It was sunshine for race 2, rain for race 1. But here in the middle of a heat wave, it's beautiful conditions at Donington Park. On the backstretch we go then, trying to open up some of the other slipstreams. And all eyes on Chloe Jones if she can get a third position here. Into the braking zone then, on the straight, into the Fogarty S's. Little clumps of the green there as well. That's not going to be too much allowed. And she's just looking behind his Jones to see where Sarah Sanchez was. Jones knows she's got a chance to be on the podium and maybe get a race win. Down into the hairpin, she's got better traction. Then Beatrix Naylor coming through at the end of it as well. We'll start then again on to lap number 3. Good stuff going on here so far at Donington Park.
Position, it's 3.1, the gap in seconds between Boudessel and Lewis.
Outright lap record here is the 39.2. It should be beaten on this lap. Actually, only a few hundredths of a second slower from Maria Herrera, but Sarah Sanchez with a new lap record, and that's why she's been able to close on to the back of Chloe Jones. Chloe just losing a little bit of time there in that final section.
Sanchez and Naylor 39 flats, 39.2s for both Herrera and Jones. Boudessel slightly slower. She does seem to have closed back a little bit with Sanchez in this first sector, but it is around about half a second between 4th and 5th. Behind, Lewis is alone in 6th position. Seems like that would be quite safe. There's a bit of a battle going on for 7th between Ralph Howden and Astrid Madrigal, who has made progress as well from her starting position. She was 13th on the grid, and she has moved up to 9th with Paquita Reef now rounding out that top 10 after the poor start that she had from the 3rd row of the grid. But it's still Herrera and Naylor. After those first few fireworks on the opening couple of laps, it's been quite stable.
Mallory's out! She's in the gravel with Del Zotto. And Mallory is, well, it looks like the front suspension might be something there. What's happened now? So Mallory's on the inside. This is down towards the crane of curves into the old hairpin on the inside, and she just gets run into.
That's come through there.
That's by Del Zotto.
The wild card from Italy.
No, that's going to really
that's
annoy
unfortunate
Mallory.
for Mallory Dobbs. She was already involved in an incident with another rider last year at Donington Park in race 1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that will be the end. It won't be the end of her race, but it might be the end of her race because, in fact,
that's going to really annoy Mallory. Really annoy her. Annoyed her last year a little bit as well. Although she said, it's all good afterwards. But no, that's going to really annoy Mal.
So here we can move back to our race leaders. It is now 7/10 of a second between Naylor and Jones, so they haven't completely broken away, but this last lap they were 0.3 of a second faster than number 15, and she's starting to come under pressure from Sarah Sanchez, who does seem to have a little bit more pace at this stage of the race.
Yeah, and a little bit further down the field, Paquita Ruiz in 10th spot has just put in her fastest lap. She's caught the group in front of her by 1.5 seconds last lap, so that's the likes of
Sanchez.
Taylor Ralph Howden and Astrid Madrigal, so that'll be interesting. Sarah Sanchez now.
And now we've got a lead change in the front as well, because Beatrix Naylor trying to have a look on the inside line, coming on Maria Herrera, literally late on the brakes, up into turn 9, and now round the outside, Sanchez trying to make it a Spanish 1-2-3 here at Donington. The Brit of Chloe Jones, she's holding on massively. We've already got in the World Superbikes Alex Lowe's starting on the front row of the grid alongside Bulliger and poleman top right Razgaliolu in race 1. What could happen later on? The World Feed will take you through that one. Late on the brakes, on the inside, and Sanchez takes 3rd position. Chloe Jones, though, knows how this track works. She knows how to take the focus. Yes, she says, oh, look, Sarah just saying, follow me, don't go for the move. And I think Sarah's going to listen to that advice. Yeah, she is, just a little bit. Chloe stays into 3rd position, but dives back up the inside line, and that's caught Sarah by surprise. Down in towards the hairpin we go. Sarah's still ahead. She said, no, just follow me. Let's go back up to the front. Let's not lose out on pole here.
Saw Chloe have a big look over her shoulder again. They're just trying to see what the gaps are. She'll now know that she's in that fight for the podium spot, and it's her against Sarah Sanchez, that the 5th place rider, Lucy Bottisell, maybe a little bit too far back right now to be a factor unless you continue to fight with one another.
The gap was 1.7 seconds before those moves that we saw between Sarah Sanchez and Chloe Jones. Between them and Bottisell, it has now dropped to 0.8 seconds, but still a big gap for the French rider to be able to get back against those riders. Still would be her best result in the class by some distance.
Yeah, the one thing about it as well is in this class it is just about having that momentum. If the other riders lose momentum trying to attack with one another, then you are able to close back quite a bit of time. But great effort from Lucy at this stage. Her best finish is an 8th place finish. Now she's in that battle for a podium.
This second sector of the circuit is where we see Naylor really get tagged along to the back of Herrera and kind of close that gap. It still remains quite stable around about 0.2 of a second, 1/10 of a second. But it seems like it might be a strength here at Donington Park.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to catch a quick glimpse of them on the run down in towards the S's just as the shot changes. And you can see that for Herrera, through Coppice at turn 8, she's fast. She was able to open up an extra bike length there. So her bike's working well there, which means that you can't attack into the S's. But obviously if you have a good run through the S's, you're able to get close to the rider in front of you. The biggest challenge is that you don't want to be too wide on the entry because then you leave the door wide open. But you also can't be too tight on the entry, otherwise you're too slow. So the loop with these bikes in the R7 is actually quite a challenge strategically for what you can do.
It's interesting to go back to Assen when Naylor won her first race in World WCR to see where exactly she made that move. She didn't make it at the chicane or in the hard braking point. She had to make it in the fast flowing sectors of the track to be able to attack Herrera.
Yeah, and you can see here as well, just for Bottisell, was getting closer to Chloe Jones on the run down in towards Goddard's the last corner. Lost momentum through that corner though, and again loses those few bike lengths. And that's the challenge with the R7, because you can close up, as you can see here for Beatrice Naylor. She's been able to have good speed on that change of direction through Hollywood down in towards Craner Curves. And for her, she's able to close onto the back of Herrera, but not close enough to try and attack into turn 4.
The gap with the riders in 3rd, Sanchez and Jones, has grown to 2.7 seconds. Bottisell actually has cut the gap quite a lot now. It's just half a second between herself and Chloe Jones in 4th position. Further back, Avalon Lewis, the gap between herself and Taylor Ralph has come down in the last few laps. It's just 1.1 seconds. Now Ralph and Howden in 7th and 8th setting their personal best lap times in the race.
Yeah, Ralph put in her best lap of 41.5, but she needs to find another half a second to put herself into the top 3 rows of the grid for tomorrow's race. The top 9 fastest laps, they'll be the 9 riders on the front 3 rows of the grid for tomorrow. So right now it's Sanchez, Naila and Herrera on that front row.
Actually, it'd be a big step forward for Nella Ongaros, who provisionally would be on the second row of the grid for tomorrow's race. So a great race so far from the French rider, able to set these fast laps in. Here is that big battle for 6th position. Avalon Lewis, still a bit of a gap between herself and Ralph, although it has come down to now to 0.6 seconds, 0.6 of a second, with them, Howden and Reith all close by. Good job from Reith also to be able to close that gap as well to the riders ahead of her. But it seemed like she's kind of found her ceiling at this point.
Yeah, and obviously you need to be able to try and make your moves to be able to show that speed again. But when Ralph is closing that, the Paquita Ruiz attacking down in towards Goddard, but when Ralph is bringing that group up towards the riders in front, there's no need to fight. You need to make sure that Avalon Lewis comes under attack. 41.2 last time around from Lewis, personal best for Ralph, Howden and Ruiz, all to close that margin down by half a second.
Sorry, Steve, but on our timing screen is coming up as, yes, Beatriz Naila is in the lead of this race. She has cut back around about 0.3 of a second on Maria Herrera in that first sector. I wonder if there was a bit of a mistake from the number 6 going through the first turn, but Beatriz Naila, for the first time in a few laps, is leading this race.
Yeah, so Beatriz Naila takes the lead of the race, as we now see on the inside line, Maria Herrera down to second with 5 to go here at Donington Park. Maria's going to try and cut back on the inside line at the top of the hill in towards Coppice, and then down the back stretch towards the Fogarty S's. Open up that throttle and pull it back, and a little bit of a mistake there from Beatrix Naylor. Just getting the positioning right. Maria's going to look to the inside line. Chloe Jones as well knows that she might have opportunity for a podium here. She's just got to play it cool and then go for Sanchez. We've got time left in this race. It's only now 5 to go here as they trail break in into the hairpin, hook the inside line, and then pull that throttle back up. Let's have a replay then of how Beatrix got the lead. It's down on the inside line in towards Redgate. Maria goes straight on. Maria missed a gear shift, and Beatrix just went on the inside line down at Redgate. Over the line we go again then, and into the lead. Beatrix Naylor, second for Maria Herrera. Sarah Sanchez is third. A Spanish 1-2-3. Chloe Jones for Great Britain is in fourth. And then as they come through the rest of the field as well, they are all holding back together. And is Jones going to get ahead of Sanchez, as we now see further back in the field? There is, that's Lucy Mitchell alongside on the inside line. Roberta Ponziani down to 14, up into 14th now, 11 places.
Yeah, we're looking at Roberta Ponziani now just in the bottom of the points paying positions. We need to be looking at her teammate Maria Herrera, because Herrera last time around, the slowest rider in that lead group.
This is the battle, I believe, for 6th position between...
Just at the front as well, Anthony. Another half second being taken out from Chloe Jones to the race leader. They're all now within a second and a half at the front of that field, maybe even a little bit less than that. So when we get back to the front, we'll be able to see them all head down in towards the S's, very closely matched. This is an opportunity for any of those 4 riders to pick up the race win. As we see Ponziani here, just for Ponziani on the second row of the grid provisionally with her fastest lap.
This has closed up so much in that last lap. We were looking at Ponziani, who might lose third in the championship, but regardless of her result, it's Sarah Sanchez who's in a position to act, although Chloe Jones is going down the inside and she retakes third position.
Yeah, but that's going to leave Sanchez back on the inside line, so Chloe Jones is in it for a race victory here on home soil in the WCR Championship. Just touching the brakes once more, hugs the inside line into Collard, and then back onto the start and finish straight we go. Neela leads this race. Herrera, Jones, Sanchez. 3 laps to go here at Donington Park in the first race of the WCR. Onto the brakes. Nicely done on the inside line. It's the JBMotorsports squad that she's running with here in the WCR Championship. Just breezes downhill, light throttle on the brakes, and continuing to hold the advantage. Snicks there on the inside line, back up now into the S's section, up towards the top of the hill at McLean's into Coppice. And look at this, Jones is going for second place. She's on the inside line, she's going to take her, and she takes Maria Herrera. Jones up into second position. Do we start to believe, or is she going too early? Maria trying to look through, she lifts off, coming into the top of the hill. Back onto the straight we go, towards the Fogarty S's. And Chloe Jones has saved her Pirelli tyres. She's saving the atmosphere. And now she wants Beatrix Naylor. Can she win on home soil? The crowd cheering her on. They give her an extra second per lap, and that's exactly what she needs right now. Down to the braking zone, laying the brakes into the Melbourne hairpin. She's chosen the inside line. She gets a little bit mistaken, but she hooks it up nicely at the exit. Either way, a podium would be fantastic on home soil. But can she go a step further? Maria Herrera, so much nicer on the inside line. Is everything we thought about the WCR wrong? Maybe you can race with these bikes. Into the chicane, now we come. Redgate. Down through Hollywood and the Craner curves. And she's closing up now as we head down towards Old Hall. Surely not at turn 4, it's not an opportunity to overtake. Oh, she thought about it, backs off. Beatrix Naylor goes a little bit wide. Jones had a poor exit. Round the outside, Maria Herrera's going to try and open up the throttle, but they're just both on the same amount of gas uphill. Jones defends the inside line, looks for a move on the inside of Beatrix Naylor, can't find it. This is superb racing. Best finish of 6th. She's done that 3 times in Assen, Jerez, twice last year, and now she's going for the lead of the race. Down the straight, it's 3 wide on the inside line. Maria Herrera into the Fogarty S's. Jones sweeps back underneath as well. She's dropped down to 3rd, but she's going to try and get repassed as well on Beatrix. Sarah Sanchez in there as well. Melbourne hairpin is next up. Penultimate lap of the race coming up for the last lap of the race. Hard on the brakes. Sanchez looking for a move. Oh, and gone in too deep. That's Beatrix Naylor gone in deep. Jones retakes 2nd position. Maria Herrera's now left up at the front. Into the last corner. 1 more lap to go. Through Goddard's and now up onto the start straight. Last lap here at the WCR. Is Maria Herrera done enough? Can Chloe Jones find anything? Sarah Sanchez going on the inside line of Beatrix Naylor, takes 3rd into Redgate. Naylor tries to come back but can't. That gives Jones the break that she wants to get ahead. Down we come into Old Hall. Super late on the brakes as well. Late. And Beatrix Naylor takes 2nd position. She goes underneath Chloe Jones. Beatrix back into 2nd place. Sanchez down to 4th. Jones trying to go back round the outside line. All of this is not helping because that's going to allow Maria Herrera just to get away at the front. Few more corners left then. Exit out of McLean's, up to Coppice. And then the straight before the Fogarty S's. Poor exit there from Beatrix Naylor. Jones is going to have the pace down the backstretch. Maria Herrera's just out ahead once more. Sanchez might try and spoil the British party here as she looks at the inside line down to the Fogarty S's. She goes in too deep. Jones will get the cab back. She'll sweep round the outside. Cuts to the inside line. Now Sanchez, that was a dirty pass, but it's going to work. She's pushing Jones to the inside line as the lead goes on. Maria Herrera cuts off the inside. Jones back up to 3rd position. Sanchez has gone in too deep. It's a race at the front as well. Battle for all of the positions as they come through to Goddard's. Is it going to be that way at the line? Herrera defends. Sanchez look on the inside of Jones. Maria Herrera wins here at Donington Park. Beatrix Naylor is in 2nd. And it's a Brit on the podium with Chloe Jones in 3rd. Her first podium in WCR comes at home here at Donington Park. 1:38.964. Beatrix Naylor with the fastest lap. JBMotorsports get a podium for the first time. And Chloe Jones on home soil has proved what you can do, and the British fans love that. On Britwatch, Jamie Hanks-Elliott in 17th, just outside the points-paying positions. Mal comes home in 25th. But it is a podium for Chloe Jones, but Maria Herrera wins once again, and the podium's been confirmed.
Left-hand side of the track to force Sanchez to have to think about going around the outside, and then at the last minute she picks up her braking point and she's able to hold off that position. But Jones the star of the show for this race for sure, because she put herself in a position to maybe even win that race, and that's going to give her a lot of confidence for tomorrow. She's going to start from the front row of the grid behind Beatrice Nail and Sarah Sanchez, but Maria Herrera on the second row of the grid along with Roberta Ponziani, who recovered up into the top 10 in this race, but that's a lot of drop points for Ponziani.
For Naylor, you get the feeling that she lost that race in the penultimate lap with that small mistake that she had in Melbourne hairpin. That dropped her from first to fourth, and it was a fantastic final lap. She was a second faster nearly than Herrera, but still too much ground to cover from fourth up to first with the number 36. That means that she loses another 5 points in the championship challenge. It will be 18 points between Herrera and Naylor going into race 2 tomorrow. A lot to learn for the number 36 in that battle against Herrera. Herrera again using that little gap that Naylor gave her and that little bit of indecisiveness as well with the battle behind to just be able to stretch out that lead over the riders behind. Chloe Jones in the end finishing a full second behind our leading duo. So great job again from our championship leader. But right now it is all about this rider in third position. Chloe Jones from Great Britain stepped into the World Championship for the very first time in the final race of the season last year at Jerez. It was a phenomenal performance there. She really made a mark for herself as well at a track she didn't know all that well. But coming here, we knew it was going to be a huge weekend for herself at her home track, and she had really delivered upon that promise.
Yeah, and that's the thing for Chloe, is that even though this is her home round and it looks like a big step forward, obviously, to fight out for the race lead, Jerez last year showed that she's a good rider. What she's done so far in the early rounds this year, qualifying on the third row of the grid, giving herself the opportunities to be in that second group and score decent points, shows that she's been a very strong rider in the class for each of the 3 rounds she's done already. But this round shows that she's got that ability and the confidence to bring the fight to the top riders as well.
Win for the riders further down the field. Paquita Rita actually was the rider who finished in 6th in the end. She managed to recover quite a few positions towards the end. The biggest loser in that battle was Aben Lewis, who had a safe 6th position for quite a long time, but eventually dropped to 9th when she got caught by those riders in the group behind her. The riders coming into Parc Fermé for the first time this weekend at Donington Park. We will have another race tomorrow where Maria Herrera will be looking for her first double since the very inaugural WorldWCR round that we had in Misano 2024. But for herself, she'll have a lot of thinking to do given the pace of some of the riders behind her and the strategy she can. Obviously, you can't change too much the strategy in WorldWCR. If you have riders tagging onto the back of you, it's very difficult to be able to get that pace and etch out a gap with the riders behind you. But there will be something for her to learn about, given what she's been able to see from those riders around her.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn an awful lot just by getting that opportunity to battle with the likes of Herrera. And Nail has shown the same as well this year, that she's one of those top riders in the class. And for Chloe Jones, she's laid down a marker now that everyone's going to have to respect her for the rest of the season.
Emotional moment for the number 15. Just 21 years of age coming into this World Championship full-time for the very first time. She's also the first rookie this season to score a podium finish. Of course, Aben Lewis was quite close in As, and Lucy Boudesol will be looking to find some pace tomorrow and tag on to that lead group. She finished 4 seconds drift in the end. Fantastic performance nonetheless from the number 17, and also her first top 5 finish in the class. Here are those confirmed results at the bottom of your screen. Quick look further down the grid as well. Ponziani, as you mentioned earlier, Steve, she finishes in 10th position, so a few points gained for herself. She will start on the second row of the grid in race 2 tomorrow. Unfortunately, that technical infringement really damaging her prospects of a podium finish in this race, well, basically nullifying them and damaging them for tomorrow as well, because she potentially could have had a little bit more pace if she had also been able to tag along to that lead group.
Yeah, it's one of those situations you need to have the momentum at the start of the race, otherwise you're always trying to recover, and that's where the 9 fastest laps becomes very important, because it gives you a decent chance into the second race of the weekend, and that's where, for the likes of Ponziani to be able to put it on the second row, means she'll be a contender tomorrow. Ungara, you mentioned during the race as well, good effort by her. to finish in 8th position and then to give herself a third row of the grid spot for tomorrow's race as well. So the best we've seen from Ongara all season, the first top 10 finish for her.
That was a fantastic result from Ornella Ongara. She is one of the most experienced riders on the grid and did have a lot of good performances last year. Her best result actually was 2 7th place finishes, so just 1 position lower than that in this race today. So we start with our podium interviews, started with Chloe Jones at her home round, her very first podium in World WCR.
Chloe, what a day. Your first podium in World WCR at home in Donington Park. Tell us, how do you feel?
It feels amazing. I've worked so hard for this, my team, my mum and dad, everyone. I can't thank them enough, and I'm just, so grateful for this opportunity. It's been a rough couple of rounds for me, but no, I'm buzzing to be here, and the support is amazing, and I can't thank all the British fans enough for it.
Well deserved. Enjoy it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
A great cheer from the crowd for Chloe Jones, well deserved. She'll have another opportunity tomorrow to be able to fight for that race win. Here, we're going to see a few of the moves that she put in this weekend. That is a move down into the Melbourne hairpin on the final lap to move past Sanchez and confirm that podium position.
I loved it, but I loved on the run to Goddard's that she kept her bike on the inside line to be defensive, and then you can see as she makes her way across the line just what it means for her as well and for the team.
She was celebrating before she actually met the finish line, so glad that didn't cost her in time-wise. She probably knew it was safe for that.
I think the gas was still open at least, so great effort from Chloe, and you can see what it meant for her, the team, but also for the fans. When she came back into Parc Fermé, you could hear the reaction of everyone down there as well, coming through victory lane.
You see the celebration. We didn't get to see it in the live moment, but the emotions overflowing at that point between herself and the team. A great job from everybody involved to be able to secure that first podium for a British rider, it must be said as well, in the World WCR class. So next up in our post-race interviews is Beatriz Mela, just second today after leading most of the race. Let's see what she tells Alvaro down in Parc Fermé.
Beatriz, not the result you wanted, but second position, good points for the championship. How was the fight in front?
Yeah, the race was crazy. Also, the last lap was amazing. And yeah, I'm happy. Second position is good for the championship. And tomorrow I will start in a good position, so I'm super happy. And for sure, this podium is for you, Borja.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heartfelt tribute from Beatriz Mela, second position for herself today. She drops to 18 points behind Maria Herrera in the championship standings, 115 to 97 for the number 36. A mention for Ponziano, actually keeps third position with all that battling going on. Sarah Sanchez unable to fully cut the deficits to the number 96 in third. It's 6 points which split Ponziano and Sanchez now in the championship standings. So next up and final in our post-race interviews will be our race winner from today, Maria Herrera, her third win of the 2025 World WCR.
Hello.
Maria, another win for you, the third of the championship, to increase your championship lead. How was race one?
The race was difficult. Like you see, I had problem in the lap 4. I don't have too much brakes, so it was difficult for me to brake hard and to battle the position. But I do a strategy. I see the Beatriz and John was very, very fast. So I'm very happy with my race, but for sure we have to improve that for tomorrow. But thank you to everyone for coming here. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Maria Herrera there, her third race win of this 2025 season. We're going to see how she got that done, and it was a penultimate lap. She managed to get a fantastic run out of turn 8, going into the foggy S's. And despite those brake issues that she just alluded to, she did manage to secure it, secure that move, and secure the race win.
Yeah, really good ride from Maria, considering that problem she had at 2/3 distance. And she'll start off in the second row of the grid tomorrow. And our championship leader has extended her lead out to 18 points. This is where we're now at the stage of the year where Nayla needs to claw back those points. It would have been massive for her to beat Maria in a head-to-head today, but she'll get the chance tomorrow as well. And 12 laps of action tomorrow as well to look forward to. For me, this is probably the best race we've seen in the WCR over the last year and a half.
I'd agree. That was a fantastic event that we had here. especially fantastic from the likes of Jones and Sanchez to be able to claw back that gap, because that is the one thing that we don't see a lot in World WCR, is once a gap is developed, it's so difficult to be able to get the pace to be able to challenge the riders ahead, and they managed to do that. Of course, Herrera didn't necessarily quite have the pace. She had that mistake going into turn 1, and Neyla, I think, was potentially surprised by it as well, by the issues that Herrera was having, but nonetheless, full credit to Chloe Jones and Sarah Sanchez for being able to cut back that deficit and grant us, at the very least, one of the best races that we've had in this class so far. So we prepare there for the podium celebrations. I can imagine it's going to be a big cheer from the crowd when Chloe Jones goes up onto the stage. We haven't had a lot of British podiums in recent years here at Donington Park. Of course, in World Superbike class, it was always a stage where we had a lot of race winners in past years, not so much in present.
Good effort, mate.
Number 15, of course, return to tradition for British riders here at the home race, let's say, in general, for the World Superbike paddock, and not necessarily for World WCR, but also a staple on their calendar over the last 2 years. It's getting a bit caught up in the moment as well, and the amount of people trying to congratulate her.
Yeah, and rightly so. It's a big moment for Chloe. First World Championship podium finish, but the first time we've been able to see her really give herself that chance to battle at the front, and she grabbed it with both hands. Could have won this race, and that's going to give her a lot of confidence going into tomorrow.
Chloe Jones in third, Beatriz Neyla moving up to second position, and Maria Herrera, who will take that top step of the rostrum before we get into the celebrations. We will have another race tomorrow, also at 12:20 local time. Lights out for race 2, the first race and the second race of the day here at this Prosecco DOC UK round. We still have plenty of action remaining here at this Donington Park circuit. 6 different classes, 13 different races overall, but it'll be very difficult for a lot of them to be able to live up to what we have seen here so far. Still not even 1 o'clock local time on Saturday, so that's a very high bar to set from the riders in World WCR. Pricing continues here.
And the race win, the 25 World Championship.
Well, this is the big one for Maria Herrera. Her second win at the Donington Park circuit after a race 2 win last season. That was against Ana Carrasco. The two broke out a lead then. It was potentially a little bit more difficult this year with that 4-rider group, but a fantastic job from number 6 to be able to secure that 3rd win of the campaign, her 9th in World WCR. It's time for the Prosecco celebrations here at Donington Park with our leading trio of race 1. And here we go. Maria did a straight pointed it at Chloe Jones, well deserved as well. First time they've met on the rostrum. I believe that won't be I feel like that won't be the last time that we see them celebrate on the podium. And a chance from this local crowd here at Donington Park.
What an amazing event. We'll be back tomorrow for more action. Take care. Bye-bye.